Today we're looking at Deuteronomy 5, and the Israelites are still located in Moab, across the Jordan, where they could see the promised land. So remember, we learned that back in the first chapter of Deuteronomy. Whoops, sorry about that. And in verse 1, Moses tells the story of the 10 commandments, and he's telling the new generation the journey that the Israelites had from Egypt to where they are now. Because of the lack of faith of the Israelites in the older generation, they were not able to see the promised land. And so this new generation, they don't know exactly, the story and what happened during that journey. So Moses is retelling right before they enter the promised land. So I just wanted to refresh your memory. Maybe this is the first video of mine you're seeing. And so the 10 Commandments is such a good refresher as far as a Bible study goes. The first one was, you shall have no other gods before the Lord, which, of course, that's the first one. In life, if you want to have any kind of peace in your life, believe me, you don't want to put anything else before the Lord. Do not make idols or an image to worship. And one thing that I see today is people, having crystals. I think I was watching, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like a YouTube short or something that was, I don't know what it was. But it was a girl saying that she has crystals and she uses it because it gives her like good energy. And so she'll meditate to like the crystals or something like that for energy. And so something like that can sound harmless, but it really is harmful. It's an idol, essentially. Your kids could be an idol. You can idolize your kids and put them first before your relationship with Christ. So you really have to be careful of what you're prioritizing and what you're making first in your life and in your heart, most importantly. Do not say the name of the Lord in vain. And this one, every time I hear someone say this, it crawls my skin. Like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I've heard even Christians say it, so be very careful. There's so many other things you could say if you need to say something, but please don't take the Lord's name in vain. The fourth one, keep the Sabbath day or the day of rest holy. And I read the Enduring Word. So there was a couple of things. With this, we all need a day of rest. We can't just keep going. And although the Israelites lived under the law and we don't, Jesus fulfilled that law with his death. It's still important to remember that we still need rest. I really love how the Enduring Word explained this, and I'm going to read it to you now. Some claim that Christians are required to keep the Sabbath today, but the New Testament makes it clear that Christians are not under obligation to observe a Sabbath day, because Jesus fulfilled the purpose and plan of the Sabbath for us and in us. Galatians 4:10 tells us that Christians are not bound to observe days and months and seasons and years. The rest we enter into as Christians is something we experience every day, not just one day a week. The rest of knowing we don't have to work to save ourselves, but our salvation is accomplished in Jesus. So I thought that was really, I love that wording. But, it is important to have some sort of rest. Please don't overwork yourself if you can help it. Number 5, honor your father and mother. Even as you get older, there's no limit to this. If your parents are here and alive, honor them with your words and with your actions. Do not murder, that's self-explanatory. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not lie against someone. And don't be jealous of others. And you'll see that all of these, most of them have to do, it's either, pertaining to our relationship with God or pertaining to our relationship with others. And then, Moses went on to say that it was written in a stone tablet. Verses 23 through 27, the Israelites had fear and respect for the Lord. And if you, read the book, any previous book, so Numbers, Exodus, then you would read how sometimes they really didn't have a fear of the Lord and they didn't have that respect or regard or faith, the older generation. And so with this response, in verse 28, we read that God was happy with that. And then in verses 32 through 33, it says, be careful to walk in obedience. Again, such wise counsel. And this is repeated all throughout the Bible. And I just wrote some scriptures here. John 14:23, James 1:22. Some really good places where, you can refer to that. It's one thing to hear the word, and it's another thing to obey it and to live it. And it's not easy, right? Because especially, some people are weaker in some areas than others. But it's a good reminder to just be careful. Be careful to walk in obedience. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I feel like this chapter is just really helpful to refresh our memory and also just to implement some really basic principles in our lives. I will be doing a video soon on some of these, so that's why I didn't go into depth about it. But, you could keep a lookout for that. So let me know what you learned. I post a new Bible study video on Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I can't wait to study the Bible with you again. Bye.